Usually I use a contrast because I want to really emphasize the grout. But because I do another thing over here, and by the way, this is sanded grout, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also do a little demonstration of how to regrout.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be a problem to a lot of people. This is sanded. Anything over 3/8 you sand it under 3/8, which probably will be the case for you. I don't know what your grout is. Yeah. Then you use unsanded. Okay, I'm going to introduce a new tool, and this is 24 hours later. So we expect that this wouldn't move. This is ready to go. It actually sets up pretty fast, believe it or not. I really didn't.
You didn't set it in.
I didn't even set it. But 24 hours later, it's really set up, and the tiles wouldn't move. In this case, that's not true. So we've got to be a little bit more careful. But now I have a float. This is a grout float. And all I'm doing here, I'm sorry I use this color now, but that's all right. All I'm doing now is making sure that I'm in the grout line. I want to make sure that I get into that grout line. Okay, and then I just, this is just sort of a diagonal move like that. The reason for the diagonal move is really so you don't go back down into the grout line and dig it up. The idea here is to get as much off of the tile as possible because this is the hardest part. You can't and again, you have about 3 hours, but the closer you get to that bewitching hour, the harder it is to get this stuff off. So you want to make sure that you work in front of yourself. When you're grouting, you do a little bit, and then you come back and get the next tool, which I'm going to introduce, the 21st century tool. So that looks like I pretty well got it stuck. Sure. Okay. Now. So I do this for a while, and then I'd come back and start cleaning this up. Now we do, and again, when you're done with the tool, just throw it in water and clean it up later. Make sure your tub is closed. This is our 21st century tool. This is where the work starts getting hard. The rest of it was easy, especially if you're not on the floor. If you're on the floor, and knees suffer a little bit, but you folks won't be doing that. Now all I'm trying to do, I'm really doing two things. I'm trying to get as much of the grout off the tile as possible right now, and then secondly, I'm going to form my grout line. Now, this is where I always say, people say, I hate a deep grout line. Why? Well, because it collects dirt. And I always say, well, I don't know, for me, I sort of like, not a real deep grout line, but I like the distinction of the grout line, and the collecting dirt part of it really isn't an issue. See, that's about what I'm warning about.
Hey, easy enough.
Collecting dirt is caused from not maintaining the grout. This is something that you need to be aware of, because you're going to have a lot of grout lines. It's going to be really hard. You've got to seal it. And you've got to seal them every year. Nobody does that.
No. Right.
Nobody seals a grout, and it's a maintenance issue. And if you don't seal it, you're going to have a problem. And you're going to have dirty grout lines. Now that's a little bit too deep. I don't like that, so I'll go back on that one. As I say, this is where you start really. This is the hardest part of the tiling job. Not really. I really did go a little bit deeper than I wanted.
Then I guess you just get the...
You get the general idea.
As I say, there's nothing here where once you do it, you're locked in. You say, oh, I went a little bit deep there, and just go back to the grout and the float. Put some more in there. Yeah, we'll work with it. And this is really, I mean, literally the work part. You want to get as much. Well, we do have some chemistry to get grout off a tile, but it's a lot better to do it when you're laying.
Yeah, that'll work. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I had this guy do my tile, and he really screwed up, and I got to get the tile up. How would you do that?
Oh, well, you can just, you're not going to save it.
Yeah.
You're not going to save it.
Yeah, it's
Just get in there
I already
with
know
a
that.
chisel
Yeah.
and a hammer. You can do this, but still,
Okay.
let me demonstrate that to you in a minute.
Yeah.
But if the whole job is a bad job,
It's all around the corners. You just cut wrong.
then you just get a hammer and chisel and just break it up.
Just break it up and redo
Break
it.
it up and, yeah.
Yeah, because I know how to do this part. I have a multi-purpose tool that has a special
Oh, you
bit.
do? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good.
Okay, so I
You
think
don't
it's pretty much.
necessarily even have to remove the grout, because everything's got to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a lot of work, and you'll have to.
No problem.
Does it have? Does it have backer board?
Yeah.
He laid backer board? Just pull the backer board off. Pull everything off.
Okay.
Start all over again.
All right.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.